Okay, brothers and sisters, this is Brother Elihu, and this is part 2 on the self-deification, the dangers of self-deification, part 2. I first want to start off with reading something out of Holy Quran, all right? And this is the 7th Surah, Al-Araf, all right? 190. Okay, I'm starting at 190, all right? It says, exalted above, Allah is exalted above all that they ascribe as partners to him. And these partners include yourself. Okay, you self deification, that I'm God body, I'm God. I'm God, ain't no God but me, and all that shit. Alright? Forgive me, Lord. Holding the Quran and cursing. Astaghfirullah. Okay, so it says, do they attribute as partners to Allah those who created nothing but themselves are created? Okay, you calling yourself a God, you know what I mean? But you ain't create nothing. No, and you yourself are created. You know what I'm saying? You didn't form the heavenly bodies and ascribe their you know what I mean, their processions, you know what I mean, their orbits, you know what I mean. You didn't befit the beasts that exist with their nature and the do's and don'ts and the things that they're able to do and not do. You didn't create the atom, and that alone shuts you down right there. You know what I mean? You can't, everything that man has created, he has had to use prime material or elements that already existed prior to him. You know what I mean? He is a composition of those elements. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. It's a dangerous thing you're doing, man, because you're buying into that new age satanic taking God out the equation. You know what I'm saying? Concept. And they've packaged it, and they've found Satan is such a deceiver, you know what I mean? And like the Bible said, in so much as to deceive the very elect. So even you people who are so-called scholarly and learned, you know what I mean? You've allowed the adversary, man, to package atheism in a way to now to say that you're God. God doesn't exist. The only God is you. You know what I mean? He's tricked you into believing that the scriptures have no validity to them. You know what I'm saying? When it's superficial thought, man. Okay, let's put aside the question of authorship. Let's put aside the question of origin. Within the books, the Quran and the Bible, okay, there are truths, there are morals, there are lessons, okay, in all aspects of life, okay, to protect you from making mistakes, all right? So there is the treasure, brother. The treasure lies within the moral. The treasure lies within the stories, man. All right? We know that they're allegory. We know that they're parables. We know that they're stories. You understand what I'm saying? And the law surely knows all things. So he packaged it and disguised that in a way, whereas a lot of it got through, man. You know what I mean? And as far as tampering from Europeans on scriptures, much of the Old Testament, which is known as the Tanakh, pretty much is intact. Okay? They didn't do a whole lot to that. All right? Where you see a lot of white censorship and editing is when you get to the New Testament, where you have books like Luke and Mark. You know what I mean? Both were Syrian Greeks. And then you have Paul's letters, which Paul was a nigga who grew up in Rome around crackers. He was a mulatto. In fact, he was a half-breed. You know what I mean? He had a black mother and a white Roman father. So that's the only claim he has to be Hebrew, because it's through the mother's bloodline. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they say he was a Jew. Okay, but you know what I mean? It's also a state of mind, man. The hell with the ethnicity, because you got a whole lot of white thinking niggas. You know that. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what he was. Because, listen, check out a man by the name of Simon Magus. This is who Paul really was. And I hate to get off text, but really I'm not, okay? Because I'm going to tie this in. Watch this. Watch this. Paul, whose true identity was Simon Magus. Simon Magus had heard the apostles, mainly Peter, you know what I mean, teaching the people. He approaches Peter and he tries to buy the lessons for a price, okay? And the Quran talks about y'all who call yourselves God body. It says something like, these are ones who purchased error for guidance. Heavy, right? Peter tells Paul, if you don't get the hell out of here, beat it. You know what I mean? Paul was a student and practicing sorcerer and magician. His real name was Simon Magus, okay? This is where you see the editing and the tampering with, okay? So then, here's the rest of the story. Yeshua appears to Peter and says, to Simon Magus, he says that Paul is in Rome, all right? He tells Peter to go there. Him and Peter were sworn enemies. Go on Google and type in Simon Magus, M-A-G-U-S. He was a magician. A magus just means magi, okay? It's a form like in Freemasonry, and then also in magic they use the word Freda, like Freda Elihu El. Freda means brother, but it's a term mainly used in the occult world. They'll have the first thing Freda, as like how doctor have Dr. So-and-so. It's a title, Freda, okay? Simon Magus, so Peter goes to Rome to confront Simon Magus. He finds Simon Magus or Paul teaching a whole crowd of people, you know, the lessons that Peter wouldn't sell him. So obviously he probably hung around spying and wrote down the stuff, you know what I mean, intermingling within the crowd unseen. You know what I'm saying? Because Peter did chase him away. Okay? So Peter declares to the crowd, this man is a fraud, he's a fake. Okay, and I'll prove it, because Yeshua tells Peter he's slandering our God, you know, our lessons, our gospel, and our mission for raising the people. All right, and he's sabotaging our mission. You know what I mean? The whole thing, reason why Yeshua got the 12 together and taught them the lessons. All right, okay. They agree to the battle. The people actually tells them, we want a battle. We want to see, you know, who's the real deal, right? Paul calls a man over to him, whispers something in his ear, and the man falls down dead on the ground, all right? Peter bends over, whispers something in his ear, the man comes back alive, all right? Paul tells the people, I'm going to fly in the air, all right? And he does. He begins to take off, and he's flying around, you know, circles and stuff in the air. Peter says something out loud, you know what I mean? And you know, whatever he spoke. Paul falls the hell out the sky, slams on the ground, and he's dead. Alright? Now, Peter's a wanted man, you know what I mean, in Rome, okay? Because although they have already crucified Yeshua, they wanted all 12 of them, you know what I mean? Because now the people are rebelling and withhold. They putting their taxes in escrow, you dig? You know what I'm saying? They said, until you get rid of this guy because he's fucking up the program. You know, you had these money-hungry preachers just like today. And the stuff he's teaching is fucking up the hustle. You know what I mean? And the people are starting to leave and follow him. And if they follow him, you know, the black people, these are the black people the Negroes who turned on Yeshua. If they start following him, then you're going to have a revolution on your hand. And remember, Rome had already been fighting for the last 150 years. That started off with Matthias Maccabees and his son Judas Maccabees, who was the first black Hebrews to rebel against Roman occupation in Rome. All right? So this is how when you declare yourself a God, you say, man, I wish I knew that other text where it says, through your sorcery and everything, you have said that I am. You know what I mean? I am is the name for Ahaya Ashahaya. You know what I'm saying? When he told Moses, I am that I am. And you basically saying, I am God. That's what you're saying. I'm God. You feel me? And you're not God, man. So when you say, I am God, you're saying, I am God. And then you reaffirming it or confirming it with God. And I think that is let me get this right. I think it's Isaiah. Jeez, man. It's 80 something. And it's verse 8 and 9. Let's see if I can find this real quick, man. Here it go. Oh, praises due to Allah. It's Isaiah 48, 8 and 9. Hope I can do this for the time or not. Nope. It's a 47, 8 and 9. Okay, I'm just going to read this real quick so you get it. Therefore, hear now this, that thou art given to pleasures and dwell carelessly, that says in your heart that I am God, and none else besides me. You understand that? So you saying, ain't no real God. I'm God, body. I'm God. God don't exist. Okay? Check this out. It says, geez, where am I at? It says this literally, thou sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Okay? And it says, but these things but woes will come upon you in a moment one day. Alright? And you will lose your family, your parents and all that, right? And your children, right? And for thy sorceries and for the great abundance of your enchantments. You know what I'm saying? For thou hast trusted in wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas can't see me. I'm God body. That's basically what it's saying. It said that. None seeth me. It says, my wisdom and my knowledge. It says thy wisdom. Okay, that's your wisdom and your knowledge has perverted you. And you have said in thine heart, again, it repeats it again, I am, and none else beside me. Okay? Ain't no God. That's all a lie. That's the white man trick y'all and fell for. You God, brother. I'm God. You know what I mean? And you mistake and twist, you mistake and confuse, you know what I mean, the lesson. Because, yeah, Yahshua says if you want to see God, see your brother. You want to serve God, serve your brother. Okay? But that's not saying that you're the Godhead, brother. It's not saying you're the Godhead. It's blasphemous, brother. It's blasphemous to make that declaration. I'm telling you, it's very dangerous because your soul's salvation is at stake. You know what I mean? You've bought error for guidance, just like the Holy Quran says, man. You've made the claim and declaration that Satan made. I shall be as the Most High. Satan means adversary. He wants to rival God. He wants to be God. He has spent the last 6,000 years, okay, to try to take the throne from God. And that's why you really should have reverence and respect for the Most High, because he is the Ancient of Days, from everlasting to everlasting. And there have been many who's tried to take his throne, man, and he has defended it. This is why he has myriads and myriads and myriads armies of angels, man. This thing is not no joke or no game. He has to protect his throne. You understand what I'm saying? They get down when necessary. That's why he has archangels, the generals. You know what I mean? That's why he's surrounded by him. And they praise him day and night. You seen Shaka Zulu? When Shaka came out the thing, they all fell down on the ground. Thousands of them. And when he walked, they spread and opened up like Moses parted the sea. When Shaka walked through the crowd, they all scattered like, made a lane for him and shit. It's the most powerful scene I ever saw, yo. And I'm gonna let y'all see that scene too. That's having reverence for power, man. That's called bearing witness, brother. Bearing witness. This nigga is the truth. You know what I mean? This nigga is the truth. And the Holy Quran says, how dare you compare yourself to him, and there is none like unto him. You know what I mean? When you yourself are created. Look at your stomach. Behold the belly button. You didn't precede your mother, brother. You came from your mother. And when she died, you cannot save her. You can't even deliver yourself from the white man's yoke. So how dare you call yourself a god? I mean, let's be for real, man. You sitting there mentally masturbating your goddamn mind. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You've been deceived. That's what the Bible says. In so much as though Satan will deceive the very elect. So you think you have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but what it is ego within your own self and your own heart. And you do not give all honor, praise, and glory to the Most High. Everything I know and everything I learn each and every day, You understand? All praise is due to Allah. And that's Allah, A-L-L-A-H, and Elah, same God. Because the Holy Quran says this is the continuation of the book. You know what I mean? And these scriptures are real clear cut. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. Okay? But know this. This ain't nothing but a temporary illusion, brother. You're a spiritual being having a physical experience. You hear what I said? You are spiritual.